And that's the great thing about football. You know what I mean? It brings together everybody, don't it? It brings together different races, different religions, you know, people who are completely different, completely opposite to each other, but they share same common interest, the same love of their football team. And football is powerful.
Hugely.
It's really, really powerful. We don't understand sometimes how powerful it is.
Yeah. I think that's something I've always said that I love is how football brings people together. Obviously, essentially, I know you through football, and the times it's given me with my daughter, my family, and it's not just the enjoyment of watching essentially 22 guys kick around a leather ball in between, you know, two posts with a set of rules. It's the unity. It's just the whole spectrum and the whole world within it, and it's quite mind-blowing when you really think about it. And so then the awards, you get nominated for this award, right? And so what, you get the call from how talk us through this process.
We got nominated for it, which I thought that alone was special. You know what I mean, to be nominated for it. And then, you know, we went to the awards ceremony, and when they said, you know, when you're sitting there at your table and they call you out, they put the nominations up on the board, and you're like sitting there and you're reading it. It's like AFTV, because I saw it when you put it on Instagram, and I thought, wow, I thought that's huge. And I saw who you were up against, and then, but you're sitting there, and obviously they go to give the award out, and they call out AFTV, Keir Starmer. You know, what is that like? It's a bit like you don't know what to do. You're like, what? And if I was like, well done, it's like, I was gobsmacked, and I didn't have no speech written, nothing. I didn't even think about no speech.
Just freestyled the mic.
I didn't think of it because I don't know. I thought we had a good chance, right? Because I was like, Keir Starmer, that's a good interview, right?
Huge.
But even then, I'm not clocking it to say to myself, what if you do win? Maybe have a little speech ready and that. I didn't. I was just like, if we win, we win. If we don't, great that we got nominated. Yeah. So when you then got to go up there now and come up with a speech, I was thinking, when I'm walking up there, I'm thinking, shit, what am I going to say? You know?
What did you say?
I just sort of said thank you, really, in general. I said thank you for it. Just told everybody up there that, you know, we've come a long way. Yeah. And it's a team effort, because it is as well. You know what I mean? Like, it was a shame that Ryan, who did the filming and editing of that, in charge of production on AFTV. He wasn't actually at the awards.
Okay.
But, you know, that's not possible without him. Yeah, I did the interview and stuff like that, but it's not possible without him. It's everything we do here is not a one-man thing. It's a one guy who had a vision, but it's not a one-man thing. And if I ain't got these guys that are so good at what they do, then, you know, it just does not happen.
I've noticed you've got an absolutely fantastic production team. And do you know what? The one thing that I've always said to everyone, and I've been, I'd say, surprised about, is since I've been in and around AFTV, is just what a lovely bunch of guys. Like you said previously about, you know, I've seen, look, you know, AFTV had at times bad rap in the media, in the mainstream media, which obviously gave it huge notoriety. But all of you guys are such a welcoming bunch of guys. You're so knowledgeable about football. Nice, like even this today, you know, giving me your time, such a nice thing of you to do when you're such a busy man, which I greatly appreciate. And I've always, I'd not say been surprised, but surprised in a way how nice and knowledgeable you guys are.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm glad you said that. That's nice to know. You know what I mean? Because for me, I think we've got a great team here. We've got a great bunch of men and women who work here. Yeah. And I really enjoy working with everybody here. We have such a laugh, and it's like natural. It's not like, you know, we just have fun. If you can do a job, right, where you're having fun. Yeah. And there's nothing better. Yeah. And we have a lot of fun here, man. We have a lot of laugh, we have a lot of fun, there's a lot of banter, but it's not that the people don't work hard. The people are working really, really hard here. But it's all about, I love the fact that we have fun with it.
Yeah, I've always noticed that as well, outside the ground, etc., and all of that stuff. So I'm gonna lead on to Robbie Lyle's all-time dream team. Okay, any formation you want. Okay,
right.
goalkeeper, whether you want to play a back three, back four, midfield three, however you want to do it.
Or Arsenal. Or
all time.
All time, every player.
Every single player. Ooh. Yeah, every single player. Because I know, one thing I know about you, you've got some serious ball knowledge, like serious.
But I ain't giving this no thought now. Now that you've thrown, like, I can have anybody I want.
So I'm gonna. This is a. Yeah. This is big. I was gonna say to you Premier League or I think Arsenal and then Premier League, but I thought no. Listen, let's. There's
gonna be some biased views in there. So from a biased point of view, I put David Seaman in goal just because I used to love David Seaman as a goalkeeper. With the old ponytail and that. You know what I mean? And he was a great keeper. A great keeper. I
think as an orthodox goalkeeper, if there was a manual of goalkeeping, it's David Seaman. He's the best orthodox goalkeeper, technical goalkeeper ever, I believe.
Right back. Who'd I put a right back? Because if it's everybody, I've got a big choice here. Man.
There's a big choice here. I was going to ask you. I probably might have slightly stitched you up, but I was going to ask you this question before. But I thought, no. Do you know what?
Yeah, I'm going to be biased Arsenal as well. I'm going to put Lauren in there.
Okay.
Right, because no, you know who you got to put in there? Like, what was that? Oh, I've forgotten his name. The Brazilian right back used to play for. He played for. Was it AC Milan or Inter Milan? What? I've forgotten his name. No. I've forgotten his name now.
Cafu.
Yeah,
Cafu.
Yeah, Cafu's got to be right back.
Okay. What? Go on. The Cafu. Why Cafu?
Because to me, he revolutionised that position. Okay. Right? The way he just used to get up and down. He was the first person I see do that, where he's just getting up and down, but also was a great defender as well. So unbelievably talented, skillful. He was brilliant. Yeah. Centre backs, bias.
Okay.
And it's Tony Adams, right? Has got to be in there.
So what? Just because of his natural leadership abilities,
everything about him. It's him and Sol Campbell I could put there, and I know that's secured.
Yeah,
I know that's secured. Maybe there's obviously going to be centre backs better than him. You could Cannavaros and people like that. Yeah. But I'm going to stick with them too.
Sol Campbell's a serious defender as well.
Solid defenders. Left hand side, right? Roberto Carlos.
Okay.
Unbelievable. I always remember that free kick he scored. Again, revolutionised that position.
Yeah.
Right. Going into midfield. There's some good midfielders, man. I mean, I've got Vieira in there.
Okay.
He's my guy. You know what I mean? Vieira's in there. Again, that's quite biased. Do you know what I mean?
Just purely because of his strength, size, ability,
everything about him. Invincible, of course.
Yeah. And you think he just was a complete midfielder, had the lot?
Complete midfielder, had the lot. Then, midfield. There's a lot of good midfielders, man. There's Pirlo, Eyes for Love.
Iniesta,
Xavi, there's Zidane.
Yes.
I think I put Zidane.
Okay, what Zidane? Talk to me.
Just as an unbelievable player. He had everything, absolutely everything, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Absolutely everything.
Big midfielder. He had a great vision. He had a great eye for goals. Scored goals. Defended well. Yeah. Commanded a team very well.
Yeah. So Zidane. So I got Vieira, Zidane.
Yeah. So what are you going? I'll take it. You're going 4-4-2. It's going old school 4-4-2.
No, 4-3-3. I'm going to
4-3-3. Yeah. Okay.
4-3-3. My front line. So
who's next?
Should I put Pirlo in there? Or maybe Xavi? Xavi was brilliant as well, man.
He was. And Iniesta as well.
But Pirlo, I just loved the way he just glided around. Pirlo in there.
Yeah.
Front three.
Okay. This is where it gets interesting, scoring goals.
Unfortunately, it's looking like Dennis Bergkamp might have to miss out in this,
Yeah, okay. I get that.
Because I'm going to have to put Henry down the middle.
Yeah. Right. I get that. Do you know what?
I've got to get Messi and Ronaldo in there, haven't I?
Yeah, I think so.
So Messi on one side, Ronaldo on the other. That's the front three.
That is an awesome team.
Yeah.
That is. I mean, you've balanced. You've got the strength at the back. Yeah. You've got the flanks covered, and then you've got the creativity in midfield, and you're solid in midfield as well. And then up front, two of the best generational talents.
And then you could have even had like R9, original Ronaldo in there as well, but Henry's got to be in that team, man. I mean, simple as that.
So going to that, so you've obviously, watching Henry. What in your experience of watching Henry live? What was that like?
He was just the best player I'd ever seen live in an Arsenal shirt. You know what I mean? He had everything.
Yeah.
Pace. Yeah. Skill. just everything. It's every attribute you can think of. He's the complete forward player.
Yeah, that's how I saw him.
You know, the most exciting player to. You just go to watch games, and you go to an away ground, and the away fans would be like, "Oh, mate, I'll tell you what, he's the best player I've ever seen."
Wow. So, are there any interviews that you want to make happen next? Is there anyone in the public eye out there that you have got your eye on, and you think, do you know what? I want to get you on AFTV.
Well, I'd love to do Saka. Because we've never done Saka before.
Yeah.
I'd love to do an interview with Saka.
Yeah.
Who else? I've not really given it.
Because this is your time to call them out.
Yeah, I've not given it loads of thought to tie that. I always wanted to do Idris Elba.
Okay.
He's a big Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
Great actor.
So Idris, if you're out there and you're listening, you get on now.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do him. I don't know. You put me on the spot there. You know what?
You like that one?
Oh, yeah, because there's off the top of my head, there's loads I'd love to do. There's loads of Mike Tyson I'd love to do.
Wow.
I could draft you a list because
Robbie's Christmas wish list.
Yeah, there's a lot of people I'd love to interview, man.
Yeah.
But off the top of my head, I'd say first and fourth, I'd love to do Saka.
Yeah, of course.
We've never done an interview with him. Met him before.
Just quickly, we spoke about this the other night. What was that moment like the other night at the Emirates? Is obviously Saka at this point. Saka's just come back from a serious injury layoff, hamstring, and then he came back the other night. And
it was an incredible moment. Like the way the fans reacted to him. You know, just even warming up.
Yeah,
I knew it was going to be like that. I knew before the game. I was saying to the guys, I go, wait till you even see him warming up. The reaction he's going to get. Because he's a special player and he's a special guy, humble guy. Everybody loves it. I think I heard Arteta say, how can you not love him? Yeah. And I get that. Yeah. How can you not love him?
And then he comes onto the pitch to an
and then scores.
Awesome reception. Yeah. I mean, the reception was like we'd scored a goal. Yeah. And then he pops up back post with a header, which is not always like him. And the place went absolutely crazy.
No, it was incredible. Yeah, I always say to people sometimes, right? Games... And I've seen this so many times over the years, right? Games that are unassuming that you think, don't even know if I could be bothered tonight.
Yeah.
Those games many a times turn out to be these gems.
Yeah, like that.
You know, because anybody who's at that game the other night will be able to...
Remember that.
Will remember that.
For the rest of their life.
I was there when Saka came back from his injury.
And he scored the goal as well.
And he scored the goal and the place, it was not just being there. That's the thing about, football, like the memories that are created. And that was one of them.
Yeah. So I know we're a bit time bound, so I'm going to start wrapping it up. But you ventured into other areas like DR Sports.
Yep.
So what's the long-term vision for your media empire?
Well, the long-term vision is try to have a media empire.
I think you've got it.
I don't think it's a media empire. Yeah, I think we've got a media company, and I think it's doing well. But that's what I want to aim to do. I want to have I want this to be a media company that really does leave its mark. You know what I mean? Not just with AFTV, but with DR Sports. With sports in general. Okay. I think it can even encompass other things like maybe fashion and music and that as well. Maybe that. In the future as well. So
just quickly, sorry, explain to everyone if they don't know already what DR Sports is.
So DR Sports is my channel, which is all football. So all football, all sports. Although we concentrate at the moment mainly on football. And again, it's very similar to AFTV, where it's fan driven. It's all about the fans. We do everything from a fan's perspective. And yeah, it's we got some great shows, some great talent on that channel. And yeah, the vision is just to, as you said, make it be a media empire. That would be if that's what it becomes, that'd be fantastic.
And how do you see growing that? How do you see growing that? What do you think would be the core values, the vision and the core values and the driving force behind that?
Driving force and core values behind that is always to do it for the fans and for the fans to be the voice of it. And that's what it's about. That's what's the driver, to create great content that's fan driven and is about fans.
Yeah.
And that is the vision.
Cool. So if you could go back and give yourself one bit of advice when you started AFTV, or when you started being a surveyor or the reggae, what would it be?
One bit of advice when you're doing AFTV, be prepared for knocks. You know what I mean? Be prepared for, you know, because a lot of times you start stuff and you're not really thinking of the, you know, the possible downsides that can come, right? And they are going to come. You're going to get them. So learn how to cope with those, and just sort of learn as well that, you know, sometimes these things, and you know, sometimes things are not as bad as they seem.
Yeah.
You can, many a times things can happen, and at the time it seems terrible, and it ain't as bad as you thought.
How do you cope with that?
By thinking that.
Yeah.
Like sometimes when, you know, you got a bad moment or something has happened that's not great, you know what I mean, maybe, you know, something went wrong, it will pass.
Yeah.
It will pass, you know what I mean? It was like, you know, it's not going to last forever, you know what I mean? Just keep working hard, strive to what you're doing, and always, you know, always concentrate on, you know, your goal. Yeah. Don't be distracted by, you know, noise.
And anyone that's potentially looking to get into the YouTube space and create a channel or a name for themselves, what would the biggest bit of advice that you could give them be?
Well, first of all, do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people who have a dream or a vision that they, you know, they don't execute. And if you don't execute it, you're never going to know whether you were able to do it or not. So first of all, do it. If you, as I said, try and make it your passion, because if something's your passion, you're willing to put in all the extra hours, which you're going to have to do if it's going to be successful. So if it's your passion, go for it and do it. And as I said, sort of, you know, when you're doing these sort of things to do with social media and that, there can be naysayers and noise. Just ignore that. Just stay focused, because what you'll find is that's a tiny percentage.
Yeah.
People who actually appreciate your stuff will watch it. Yeah. You know what I mean? They may not always comment, they may not always come out with no fanfare or whatever, but they're enjoying your content, right? So don't let a few noisy, as Alex Ferguson once said, the noisy neighbours or just some little noisy people, don't let that distract you. Yeah. That's all it is, noise.
Yeah.
You know? So you be focused and be prepared to work hard. And you know, find your niche and find your passion and go for it.
Brilliant.
Because if you don't go for it,
you'll never know.
You never know, innit?
No, you don't, of course. Well, look, thank you so much, Robbie. I really appreciate it. It's been amazing, and I hope you guys have thoroughly enjoyed watching this. I've had great fun and doing this, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, please like, please comment. It really helps. I've had an absolutely awesome time. You've been an absolute legend, mate. Nice. And one of the nicest guys, as I say, I've met in life and had the honour to be around. Well done on your achievements. Keep it going. Thank you for having me, and thank you for letting me work alongside you as well. No worries, in AFTV, man. It means the world to me.
We enjoy it. So, no, and you're great. So thank you.
Thank you, Robbie. So over and out. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next video.